Oh, hey. I don't know if you can see me. I'm sitting here in the dark because my house has no power until they decide to turn it back on. Apparently, they're repairing some kind of a transformer. So, I don't really see anybody on the feed right now. Oh, there's somebody. Okay. So, my name's Angie Atkinson, and on this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. Now I'm waiting for the chat to pop up. I can't, oh, here it goes. Hey Muffy Lewandowski, how you doing? I'm going to try to keep up with the chat as usual, and I'll stay with you until my phone dies, whenever that is. So hello Melissa Duncan. Hello Ms. Magenta, welcome, welcome. Happy to see you. Great. And Dana Marie Scarletti is back. Hey, welcome back. I have no power in my house today. Hello, Jeff Parks. How are you? Muffy says, hey there. Hi there, Angie. Trying to keep my chin up today. Trying. Keep trying, girl. It's worth it. Hey, David H. So if anybody has questions for David H., our Florida police detective, he may be able to help you if you have police-related matters you want to discuss regarding your narcissist. Muffy, I suggest as far as with your... with getting through, what's up with my power outage? Okay, Magenta, my power outage is just because apparently we got a phone call about 8 o'clock this morning and they said they would take our power out from 9 to noon. Well, as a lot of you know, I was here this morning at 9 on my computer, well, actually about 9:30, but anyway, so the power was on until like 11:30, then it went off, and now they're saying 1:30 it might be back, but we don't really know for sure yet. Apparently, they are replacing a transformer. So, that's kind of lame, right? Anyway, yeah. Hey, Pamela from Scotland. Welcome, welcome. How are you? How are you doing? And yes, Magenta, we are okay. So, basically, you guys can feel free to shoot me questions if you have questions or anything. Yeah, it's a total pain in the ass. Yeah, Magenta, it absolutely is. Hey, Terry Wiley. Welcome, welcome. I was just telling everybody my power is out and I may end up closing up earlier than I expect. So if my phone dies, I'll have to be gone, obviously. If the power comes back on in the next few minutes, I may switch over to my computer because it's a lot easier to see and do things with you guys that way. Anyway, can you guys all hear me and see me okay? Let me know. Otherwise, I guess let's see. Ellen May says, hi, I've had such a hard time going through papers I need to find for appointments. I get so overwhelmed by narcissists to help me with it. Yeah, that is difficult. And something that you can do, Ellen, is, you know, you might need to hire somebody to help you organize your home, or if you have a friend or a family member who's really good at organization. See, that's something I struggle with, organization. And so like Melina comes over and organizes my life for me sometimes, you know. So if you have somebody, Melina's my business manager and friend. So if you have somebody in your life that you can pay or just maybe bake them some brownies or something, they might come over and help you organize it in a way that works for you. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses and you have to know what yours are, you know, and if you're weak in that area, then you can always bring someone in to help. And I think personally that makes you a lot stronger than if you were to go a different direction. So, Jeff Park says, what is the best way to convince the narc that they are indeed a narc? Good luck, my friend. Here's the thing. You're not going to convince them. They are not going to believe you because they don't like to think anything's wrong with them. So what I suggest in that situation, Jeff, is to not tell them, because what you don't want them doing is researching narcissism and then coming back and throwing things in your face. Like, oh, am I gaslighting you now? You know, that kind of stuff. So that's something to be aware of. I would suggest not trying to convince a narc they're a narc. I've tried. It doesn't work anyway. I mean, I've never seen... Every now and then you'll get one to admit they're a narcissist, but that's usually when they don't fully understand what we mean by narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Narcissistic personality disorder is usually only diagnosed in people who are forced to go to therapy or who are there for some other reason. And it doesn't go well, usually. So... okay, let's see here. Misty Trinkle says hello. Hello, Misty. Welcome back. Terry Wiley says, yep, all good. Okay. We can see me, says Muffy. We see you and you are beautiful. Aw, thank you, says Terry. Muffy says, thank you for still coming to us when you're dealing with so much yourself. Oh, no big deal, no big deal. I am always happy to be here, and when I say I'll be here, I try really hard to be here for you guys. I hope you know that you matter to me. You really do. Magenta says, Jeff, don't bother. It won't help usually. That's what I said too. Christy Conroy in the house. Hey, Christy Conroy, welcome, welcome. Dana Scarletti says, Dana Marie Scarletti, I'm still having a hard time establishing a daily routine after being in survival mode for 29 years. It's like I don't know what to do with myself. Oh, I feel you. Okay, so I'm working on some content about that. I thought maybe I would start with a morning routine handout kind of thing you guys could download and with a video and explaining it and stuff like that, and then we'd kind of work into other routines. Would you like something like that? I think one thing that has helped me is to figure out first what works for me. One way to do this is to, you know, Dana, you could journal. Like, so for 3 or 4 days, just journal what you do throughout the days, and maybe a week to be safe, 2 weeks. Journal what you do throughout the days, what time you do things and what you're doing. Just, you know, a general thing so you'll know what you're talking about. And then go back and review those things and see when are you typically doing certain things. Like when I started doing my morning live streams, they just kind of started to happen around 9 o'clock or 9:15, 9:30. And so I thought, okay, this is what works for me. So it became part of my routine. So instead of building a routine around what you think you're supposed to do or you think you should do, try building a routine around what works for you. It really works better when you're getting things done. So, hello. My son just got home from his friend's house. All right. And I will be working on that content for you as well. Misty says to Jeff, I'm not sure that is possible. At least it isn't with my narc. Yeah, totally. I agree. I think it's very less possible than other options. Yeah. Melissa Duncan says, Angie, any advice on how to deal with the narc, ignoring you have no choice but to deal with him because they have your child? Okay. Yes, Misty. Who was that? Was that Melissa? Yes, Melissa. Basically, what I suggest in those situations, first of all, I have done videos on that, so definitely search that on my channel. But secondly, you know, that's when you're going to want to gray rock them. My phone isn't ringing while I'm on it. That's when you're going to want to gray rock them. This is weird. I'm sorry. Happening. Okay, here I am. Where was I? I'm so sorry, you guys. I hope you're still here with me. Okay, for Melissa. Gray rock is going to be important for you during this time when you're dealing with a narcissist, you know, and your child and all that stuff. But the thing is, you're going to want to talk to them only about the child and anything to do with the child, not about anything personal. If they try to discuss personal feelings, personal issues with you, you just say, look, our business together is our child, and that's all. So that's what we're going to discuss, and that's all. Anything you have to discuss with them because of legal purposes or because of the children. Anything else, not their business, not your business. Don't try to be in their life. Don't let them in your life. Just keep it very separate. Treat them like a business connection, like a, you know, a daycare worker, or, you know, they're just simply, the only business you have with them once you have moved forward is your child. That's it. I hope that's helpful. And Melissa, like I said, I've done entire videos on that. I'm more than happy to send you links, or you can just search it on my channel. James Condit in the house. Hello, James. How are you? Welcome, welcome. How About No is here, who says, how do you deal with, hello, how about no? How do you deal with the hate you get from people because of your histrionic disorder? Some people just don't see I'm working on it. Okay. So you're saying you have histrionic disorder, so you're struggling with using your sexuality and your appearance as leverage, right? Okay, in this case, you find yourself needing a lot of attention, things like that, okay? The hate that you get, you know, if it's related to something that you're doing, one way you can deal with that is to not do that anymore, you know, if you're upsetting people and things like that. The other things, you know, I guess I need more information, please. Misty Trinkle says, me too, Dana Marie. I honestly don't know what to feel or how to act, but it's very slowly come back. Yeah, it is definitely. Did I miss Dana's comment? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got that one. Okay. All right, Misty, I heard you, girl. Melissa Duncan says that she cannot relate, but hang in there. It takes time, one day at a time. Jeff says, I'm at a roadblock. I don't think it's impossible. Jeff, it may not be impossible, but it's not usually, I've never seen it be an effective way to deal. There is a therapist who says he fixes narcissists. He claims, but he works with men, but maybe he would be someone to look at. I can't recall his name right now. Dr. David Hawkins. He's in, I've done a couple of videos about him. Check those out. If you think that, but I don't believe he's helping them change. I believe he's teaching them behavior modification, which is different and for the narcissist is like a script instead of actual change. So I don't know, but he does apparently have people who he has diagnosed as narcissistic personality disorder, and they have agreed supposedly that they have it. So check that out and see. Maybe that's something you can look at. I'm on live stream right now.
I didn't realize.
Sorry. Okay. Magenta totally hears Dana Marie. Dana Marie says, I'm so fun and I keep burning myself out. I'm wondering if that's a typo, but I understand where you're coming from. Burning yourself out becomes exhausting because it's what you do when you're dealing with a narcissist. You try and you try and you try and you change yourself as much as you can, and you try to keep everybody around you happy, and you try to prevent the narcissist from directly affecting other people in your life, your children, your friends, your other family members, whatever. It's stressful. So when you're going through that, it's going to be difficult for you. You're just going to have to start to let go of the need to keep everybody else happy. You have to start drawing boundaries. I just recorded a boundary video for you earlier today, and I'll be editing it later today, so hopefully I'll get it up today sometime. But I did just create a video on that for you. It's about boundaries, Dana. You've got to set boundaries, and you've got to put yourself first for once in your life, Kristen Hall is in the house. Hello, Kristen Hall. Welcome. She says, my covert mother, narcissist mother, tried to gaslight me last night. I'm in a total funk today because I just can't believe the crazy of it. Girl, I feel you. And the thing that sucks about it is that it comes at a time when it's like, you become so almost immune to the manipulation, or not immune to it, but immune to the strangeness of it, that when you pull away for a while and you come back into it, you're like, what the hell is this? But the fact is, I don't know the whole story. I don't know any of the story about how she tried to gaslight you, obviously, but what I do know is that when you go through this, it is possible to look at them. When you start to educate yourself about narcissism, NPD, and all the stuff that goes with it, you can look at the situation, you can look at the narcissist, and you can go, that's really textbook what you're doing. And when you do that, I can't believe this. I just read this on somebody's blog yesterday, or I just watched a video about this, and you're doing exactly that thing. And you don't want to say that to them. But knowing it, for me, has been very empowering. It helps me to see that, you know what, it's totally okay. I don't have to stress out if a narcissist tries to gaslight me, because I can just look at them and go, you're doing a textbook behavior, and you're doing something that is not in any way my fault. You're doing something that we've written about, we've talked about. You're using the same words. You're doing, if they're playing that game with you, and you can look at it and see it as a game instead of as whatever they're trying to make you see it as, you can actually feel powerful, and you can feel like you understand better than they understand what they're doing. And to me, there's a certain amount of delicious peace in knowledge. Knowledge helps me understand things on a whole, understanding what they are and what their typical techniques are. I see things on a whole different level at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys can see me okay. I know I'm in weird light, but I tried to open the window. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, but it's definitely crazy. Shelly Thomas in the house. Hey, Shelly Thomas, how you doing? Diane Chester is here. Hey, Diane, welcome. She says, my ex is insane, has done horrible things I don't think I can prove. Oh, I feel you. That happens a lot. Can you let us know what some of those things are, Diane? You don't have to if you don't feel comfortable. Dana Marie says, yes, please, videos like that sound perfect. Okay, girl, it's coming for you. And I've got a couple of, I've been working on this for a while, so it'll be good. I've got some other tools I'll be giving you with that too. Frankie Rose says, good morning, Angie, you look great. Thank you. And she says, thank you for all you do. My pleasure, and welcome. Happy to have you here today, Frankie Rose. James Condit says, they will use what they learn in therapy against you. Like you're the one that has major issues. That's exactly right. Absolutely, because narcissists cannot accept their own, they can't accept responsibility for their own behavior. You see what I'm saying? So it's weird. Okay. That's absolutely right, James. Jeff Parks says, same here, Kristen. I think my wife's family is starting to see how she really is. They might be, but you have to understand, Jeff, that they also might be part of the reason she's like that. And if you think about it, if she grew up in any sort of toxic situation, chances are that that's how she got that way. But at the same time, there's also a possibility that she was bullied in school or that something else happened to her. Usually a narcissist is a result of some major narcissistic injury or over permissiveness and lack of boundaries by the parents. There are two different ways that can happen. So, Diane Chester says, almost 9 years going through a divorce and no end in sight. Oh my God. Oh, 9 months. Woo, I almost fell over. Yeah, it took me 9 months to get divorced, but there was no money involved because neither of us had any at the time. So that's difficult, though. $40,000 gone is horrible. How no end in sight, you say, huh? Oh, Diane, I'm so sorry. I really feel your pain. I know that doesn't help at all, but I do know that there is an end in sight. You might not see it yet, but look really hard. You'll see that little pinhole of light at the end of the tunnel. In the meantime, if I'm you, I'm working on myself, loving myself, taking care of myself, doing nice things for myself, remembering who I want to be and choosing who I want to be and moving forward in my new self. Does that make any sense? I mean, what have you got to lose? Dana Marie Scarletti says, yes, everything you're saying now would be perfect to elaborate on. Okay, Dana, you got it. Jeff Park says, James, you nailed it. Yep. Misty Trinkle says, I'm afraid not, Jeff. It might be better to turn that energy into something you can do for yourself. Yeah. Reading, walk, brush the dog, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Dana Marie Scarletti says, looking forward to the content. Thank you. My pleasure. I do find myself stuck on what I should be doing, but I'm not anything like other girls my age. I understand. How old are you, Dana? Can I ask? David H. says, cool ringtone. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I know that's annoying. Oh, the power just came back on. Hey. Look, let there be light. Hey. All right. That's awesome. Awesome news. That's really, really great. Okay. Stephanie, Stop the Chaos says, this morning I was listening to Angie in one earbud and him in the other ear telling me I never understand what he's saying. I preferred listening to Angie. I'd already heard his points before. Oh, I feel you. Oh my gosh. I feel you. Magenta says, love your exasperating face. Thank you. Muffy Lewandowski says, I'm still here. You are awesome, my friend. P.S. Hi, Malta. Oh, thank you, Muffy. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Frankie Rose says, at 1:30 a.m. this morning, I got a text from the ex-narc who I've had no contact with for 20 months. And this is what he says. Magenta says, stop the chaos. That's awesome. Okay, very good, very good. Ellen May says, you always look so pretty and feminine, pretty and pink. Well, thank you. That's my thing, being pink and whatnot. Mavi Lewandowski says, hey, wait, where's Malta, or am I being forgetful again? Malta was having trouble with his phone today, so maybe he isn't able to make it. I don't know, but I'm sure he'll be back. We miss him. Frankie Rose says, no one will ever compare to what we had. What the heck? He sure didn't appreciate it when he had it. Yeah, of course. Frankie, that's called hoovering, my love. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. It is not worth it. I know the power's back on, baby girl. Anyway, don't fall for it. Okay? It's not legit. Okay. Jeff Parks says, I get the same, Frankie, and we are still married. I'm so sorry, Jeff. That's a messed up thing to say, but for me to say I'm sorry you're still married, but I think in this case, y'all understand what I mean. Because Jeff told us he's with a narcissist. Jeff, are you trying to stay with the narcissist, or what's your plan? Rami Saber is here, says, hi, how do you do? I do just fine, thank you. How about yourself? Rami Saber. Shastina in the house. Hey, girl, hey. She said, yay, the chat box pop. I can't talk. She says, yay, the chat box popped up finally. That's good stuff. Okay. Frankie Rose says, Jeff Parks, how do you handle it? Arami says, are all narcissists alike? Well, there are different types of narcissists. Arami, search types of narcissists on my channel. There are several different types and different ways they behave, but there are very many similarities between all of the narcissists. And the primary indicator of a toxic narcissist, I'm going to say this, I've said it a bazillion times, I'm going to say it again, is a lack of empathy, and then that they act on that lack of empathy. So if you have no empathy for somebody, that means you don't care how they feel. That means you act differently than you would if you did care how they feel. Think about the profoundness of that. You know? All right. Jeff Parks says, yep, anything they learn just sharpens their tools, skills, so to speak. That's right, Jeff. Dana Marie Scarletti says, Shelly, hi again. Happy to see you. James has a good LOL for everybody. Frankie Rose says, I just put it down to the new supply isn't working out very well, but I'm so done with him. Totally. That's exactly right, and I'm so glad that you weren't tempted by that. Yeah. Nicole Brown says, Angie, hi. Thanks for your chats. Is this weird? I'm doing a lipstick right now. My lips feel a little dry. I use a balm. It helps. Okay. Thank you, Nicole Brown. I appreciate you. Frank Parks says, that keeps lipstick off your teeth, FYI. Frank Parks, wait a minute. I got all confused. Jeff Parks says, Frankie, I haven't dealt with it yet. That's what led me to Angie's channel. I feel you, honey. Frankie Rose says, Jeff, you got to get out. Trust me, they just want something, and then they will put you down anyway. They will put you way, way down again. I think there's a point of that, a definite point to that. How about, excuse me, how about No says, do manipulators realize they're manipulating, or do they think they're doing something right to the person? I think it depends on the person, and I think it depends on the relationship, and I think it depends on what the manipulation is. So if we're talking about like a mother narcissist, she might really think she's doing the right things, but in reality, she might actually be doing something to hurt the person. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, she might be very controlling to her adult child, and then she might think that she knows better than the child. So she might really, in her head, believe that she's trying to help the person, but in reality, she's stopping them and stifling their dreams and all that, right? But then there's this other possibility that, you know, let's say with a narcissistic spouse, let's say a husband and a wife, okay? The husband's a narcissist, the wife is not. You know, he might be manipulating her so that she doesn't find out he's cheating or whatever. And in that case, obviously, he can't think he's doing anything right to the person, but he doesn't give a single shit about how she actually feels and what the situation really is. So, yeah. Frankie Rose says, keep watching Angie channel and get educated. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you. Dana Marie Scarletti says, 29 years of abuse. First time in my life being free of toxic people. Now I'm trying to figure out who I am, what I like, and what I do now that I'm not burned out from trying to please people. I can't read the rest. I can't see the rest. But hey, Dana Marie, I want you to go to queenbeing.com and I want you to download the life reset button, and I want you to go to, and then I want you to go to queenbeing.com/passion. And there's a thing there called a passion planner. It's free. You just download it. And I think you will love it. Give it a shot if you haven't yet. Rami says, are all narcissism... Okay, I already answered that. Misty Trinkle says, I agree. You must get out, Jeff. It's hard, but it's so unhealthy. Now, we don't know the whole story with Jeff's situation. So, Jeff, do you care to elaborate on your situation? Sometimes there are situations where, you know, you're in a very minor, you're dealing with a very small, low on the spectrum narcissist. And in some cases, there are things you can do to cope. But the question begins to go, do you want to cope or do you want to live? Because I don't want to spend the rest of my life trying to cope with somebody's shit, do you? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. Nicole Brown says, I can't look at his Facebook because I know he's dating. Final hearing for divorce is September 11th, but I know he's dating. Oh, well. Well, that sucks, Nicole. But I'll tell you what, knowing that he's dating is kind of a good thing, because I hope it helps you to not feel like maybe you can get back together. If he's abusive to you, there's just not a whole lot you can do to fix that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be with somebody who's abusive to you. It's sad that he's dating because other people are going to be hurt by it. But watch my videos on the new supply to find out about that, because that's not something you can worry yourself about either. But I would use that as fuel to move forward if I were you, personally. And I'm glad that you're not looking at his Facebook page, because that's not going to help you at all. I'd block him on Facebook if I were you. Magenta says, to how about no? Love your name, by the way. I think they know exactly what they're doing, lowering their voice so as not to be overheard. Yeah, they know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true, too. Yes. For those more overt ones. Dana Marie Scarletti says, burned out from doing so much, trying to figure it all out and make up for lost time, and I can't establish a sleep schedule. Very much looking forward to the videos to come on this. Yeah, absolutely. And that's interesting that you said make up for lost time. I've heard that from several survivors, several of my clients even, have said to me, I feel like I'm trying to live for the first time ever. And I kind of remember a little bit of that when I was going through, you know, like if I had known then what I know now, boy, I sure would have lived my life differently, you know, because I for 35 years was affected, you know, until I was 35 years old, until I went no contact with my original one. So yeah, that'll mess with your head, won't it? Yeah, I feel you. But anyway, I've heard a lot of people say they've tried to make up for lost time. And the thing is, you don't need to make up for lost time. You simply need to begin living now. Making up for lost time is not possible. We all know it. It's like they say you can't ever catch up on sleep. You can just sleep, you know? So Freedom Lee says, good afternoon, beautiful people. Good afternoon, Freedom Lee, and welcome back. She says, my ex-narcissist is taking my daughter away on vacation on her 18th birthday this Friday. 2 weeks, knowing it is very hurtful to me. Very sad. I'm very sorry to hear that, but hey, use this 2 weeks to your advantage. Do something for yourself. Take care of yourself. Go on your own vacation, or just have what I call a staycation. Stay in your house and, you know, do something awesome, like watch all your favorite movies, or go to the spa, for heaven's sake. You know, even if it's just a one-day thing or an afternoon at the spa, get your toes done, get a massage, you know, do something nice for yourself, Freedom Lee. You deserve it, my friend. Just a thought. I'm just talking. What I'm saying, Freedom Lee, is don't allow this to hurt you. Just, it is what it is. You cannot change it, right? Is feeling hurt and angry and upset about it going to hurt you or help you? It's going to hurt you. It can physically hurt you, okay? It could hurt your relationship with your daughter and a whole bunch of other things that are not worth the consequences, okay? So my suggestion to you would be to literally just let go of it, be okay with it, wish your daughter well, and move forward, and start focusing on what you want for that 2 weeks. I would be partying my ass off. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I would party. I would have fun. I would probably work too much because I'm a nerd, but I would do whatever I wanted to do. I wouldn't stress myself out about her not being there. As long as you know she's physically safe with her father, there's nothing for you to worry about. Just let it be, let it be, let it be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help. I hope it's helpful. Shastina says, I did recognize that textbook behavior talking to Nargila last night. Oh, that textbook behavior. Yeah. She says, I noticed that when aware of it, I responded much calmer. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that's why that's exactly why, and like Magenta says, good for you. That's exactly why I talk about what I talk about, because for me, the knowledge was empowering. It helped me to keep moving forward. It helped me to know, you know, because we're taught to doubt ourselves from very early, whether we were taught by our romantic narcissist or we just continued that behavior with them after our parental narcissists. We are taught not to trust ourselves. We are taught to doubt our own thoughts and our own feelings. And so when we learn something and we understand, okay, this is a textbook thing, this is documented, this is stuff that's really real, we can go, wait a minute, that's not right, you know, or that is exactly what I read or heard or whatever. It helps you to know. It helps you, facts, in my opinion, help me to decide how I feel about things. And like Shastina said, I felt a lot calmer knowing the facts. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. All right. Magenta says, Shastina, good for you. I already said that. Sorry. Omar says, hey, Omar Mejia, welcome back. Omar says, Angie, my toxic ex is still friends with my family and has left her Facebook profile unopened, but I've held off from looking. Is this some sort of control on her end, being that we ended badly? Well, Omar, do you guys have kids together? If you don't have kids together, then I don't think she still needs to be friends with your family. If you do, it's a good thing that she's friends with your family, but definitely it's a sort of control. I think that there should be a certain amount of space given between people in situations like this, and I think that you should be allowed to have your family. They're your family. Why would your family be friends with your ex? Are there children? Tell me that. Tell me that. Jamie B says to Hey Freedom Lee, Magenta. Hey Jamie B, welcome back, girl. Magenta, Dana Marie, and everybody else. Magenta says, Jamie B. Misty Trinkle says, I'm sorry, Freedom Lee, getting divorced, and I know my narc will do something like that. Jeff Parks says, yep, I think she's a genetic narc. Well, there you go, baby. Then you know it's not going to be okay. She's never going to get it because they're not going to be able to help her get it because they're there too. You know what I'm saying? Be careful. If you want to break the cycle for your own kids, if you have them, break the cycle. If you don't have kids, get out and don't have kids with her. Just saying. Nicole Brown says, oh, his family blames me for him hitting me, going to jail, etc. Girl. Okay. I would stay the hell away from those people. That's what I would do. Far away. Like locked and blocked, for real. Dana Marie Scarletti said, because they're obviously, Nicole, they're obviously the reason his behavior has been what it has been. They haven't, at the very least, enabled it and certainly probably taught it to him up to a point. Especially if they're enabling him to hit you. I'm telling you right now, if one of my children did that and you know, to their significant other, I would not enable that behavior. I promise you that. Dana Marie Scarletti says, Jamie, freedom. Freedom Lee says, hey, Jamie B and Survivors. Hey, Ms. Lily, good morning. She says, super late. Good afternoon. That's all right. We're glad you're here, honey. Good afternoon. Talk to me Tuesday. Magenta says, Nicole Brown sounds like his family is as toxic as he is. I agree. Exactly. Amy Williams says, I need your help. I need to talk with you more in depth. I've been with this narcissist 9 years. I am seeing a complete different side of him that is truly making me down. Amy Williams, if you need more than what we can do here, you're welcome to sign up for one-on-one coaching. You can go to queenbeing.com and click on the button on the front page, or you can go to narcissisticabuserecovery.online and sign up there. Okay. Dana Marie Scarletti says she's 29. I gotcha. Okay. Good news. Amy Williams says, he's making me believe that I may be wrong, but I've known him for 9 years. So I know him. I'm so confused. Please help. You do know him, but he's going to try to mess with your head, of course. I guess I need to know more information. He's going to mess with your head. And the weird thing about narcissists is sometimes they're perfect until they're not. And that's really difficult. And those who are really tenacious might be very confusing. So Dana Marie Scarletti says, hey, you bring the light. I know, right? Yay, power. Yes. Diane Chester says he'd pinch the baby so I would take her. He'd yell and scream at my 2-year-old, abuse my 10-year-old, accusing him of being gay and looking up child porn. The porn my computer forensic guys found. Oh my God. Diane, I hope that guy's in jail. That's horrible. I would have been very concerned about him sexually abusing my 10-year-old in that situation, because it sounds to me like he may have been closeted gay or closeted pedophile. That's really creepy. I'm so sorry. Diana, what's the status today? Nicole Brown says, Magenta, I think they're as toxic. His brother hits his girlfriend. Well, there you go, Nicole. There you go. Madeline Gutierrez, hey girl, hey, says, hi, Angie and Roomies. The stuck and paralyzed videos helped me so much. Thank you. I'm glad. Madeline, I'm glad they were helpful. She said, I'm in day 34 of new contact, one day at a time, one moment at a time, moving forward. Focus on one task at a time so as not to get overwhelmed. Absolutely. Madeline, did you pick up the 60-day no contact calendar? It's free over at Queen Being. Diane Chester says, he'd left my 2-year-old alone in the tub. I'm so sorry. She said he now bribes her with candy and going to play. His mother is a mental health therapist and helping him. Oh my God. Diane, that's horrible. I don't even know what to think about that. I mean, how is a mental health therapist the mother of that person? Christy Conroy says, I have a dog whistle example. Let me hear it, girl. She said, I saw the narc at a party on Saturday and he stated loudly in front of everyone, that I look so much younger and better since I quit smoking. That is a direct quote. What a dick. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I totally feel you. And that is absolutely a dog whistle example. Yes. Diane Chester says he manipulated the marriage therapist and took the kids out of the house. Now that therapist told my lawyer she is on my side and will leave the country if he gets subpoenaed. Oh, good. That's great. But how will she leave the country if she gets subpoenaed? Why would she leave the country? Why wouldn't she just be on your side? I mean, she could just tell the truth, right? Nicole Brown says, when my mom talks about how good looking he is and was, I cringe. Oh, I bet, girl. Oh my God. Why did your mom talk about that? Why would she talk about that when he's done all that? I don't understand. Is your mother a narcissist, Nicole? Jeff Park says, I wish I could. We have 2 kids together. There it is. But I see no end in sight with her manipulations. Well, you don't have to stay married to her. With the 2 kids, you know, you can stay in their lives and hopefully break the cycle for them. But you don't have to stay married to their mother to be their father. Just remember that, my friend. Jamie B says, Jeff, you can't convince them of anything. They're delusional. That's true. Yeah, Jeff Park says, zero empathy is what tipped me off. Absolutely. That's the same thing that tips me off as well. That's the thing they all have. Lack of empathy. Zero empathy. Nicole Brown says, yep, Magenta, but his brother and family will have little to do with him, especially when he got back with me because I put him in jail for his constant abuse. Girl, you deserve better. That's all I can tell you. You deserve so much better. Magenta says, Diane, be strong, sweetie. My heart goes out to you. And I totally agree with Magenta on that one. I feel horrible for you. Nicole Brown says, appreciate you in the group. Well, honey, I'm glad you're here. And I hope that we can help you to be strong and to do what you need to do for yourself. You deserve so much better than all of that. Omar says, Angie, I went to therapy and sought out help through anger management just to better myself. That's very good. And when I was done with everything, when I was with her, all she said was, you need to go back. She never places blame she always places blame and was never wrong. Yeah, that's very common. And your anger management issues may have not really been anger management issues. You may have just become aware of, you know, well, I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Magenta's comment below there. Her anger management issues your anger management issues were probably just you reacting to her abuse. And so they probably weren't really actual issues. Were you angry with other people in your life or just her? Let me know. I mean, sometimes that can bleed out into the rest of your life too. So, but yeah, the never accepting blame, always placing blame, never being wrong, narcissistic. It's a very narcissistic trait. Magenta says she appreciates how real I am. I'm real, all right, let me tell you. All right. Kayla, tell us. Hey, Kayla, how you doing? Says, welcome back, honey. Hi, my narcissist lives with her ex, dating a new guy, and she has feelings for him, and has had sex with a new guy, no feelings for him. Is it common for narcs to involve others by seeking out advice from one? Oh, absolutely. Yes. Oh, yes. I feel really bad for her ex that she lives with, and it sounds like she might have a little touch of histrionic something going on too. I'm not sure. Jeff Park says, yes. Nicole, of course you did, says Magenta. Chew Chewy is in the house. Hey, Chew Chewy. Having trouble disconnecting and leaving with my narc, a possible sociopath. Having trouble supporting myself due to depression and anxiety. What can I tell myself to keep a realistic view of the situation? Chewy. What I suggest is that you focus on resolving the depression and anxiety. Focus on mentally separating yourself from the narcissist in order to move forward. So sometimes it helps to get pissed off. And that sounds really funny, but sometimes it helps to get angry at them. So educate yourself about what narcissism is. And as you start to see those behaviors, like we were talking about, the textbook behaviors, I want you to empower yourself and recognize that the behaviors are not about you. They're about the narcissist and their disorder. Okay. And so if you can look at them and go, oh, that's a textbook behavior. Oh, that's this, this, you know, this is love bombing. And this, you can even go back in your relationship and categorize right now. You know, at the beginning, you probably experienced some love bombing, and you probably can recognize the cycle of the devalue and the discard, and then the love bombing and the devalue, the hoovering, you know, and the cycle continues throughout the relationship until it ends. So if you can look at it from a factual standpoint, that helps. Sometimes getting angry helps just to propel you forward. You need to choose. You need to figure out what's stopping you. Depression and anxiety definitely can slow you down. But what is really holding you back? What is that depression and anxiety about? Is it about the fact that you're feeling so downtrodden? And if that's the case, then you have to raise yourself up despite that mess. And if you do it the right way, it can be very powerful. I suggest that you try gray rocking the next time the narcissist tries to attack you verbally, and watch how powerful you feel there. And that can start you on the roll. I would also go over to queenbeing.com and download any of that stuff that you feel, or, you know, read articles or download the things that you'd like on the site, because some of that will help. Yes. Brandy Ortega says, can you do a video on shape changing? Are we talking about the narcissist doing something that we call shape changing? Yes, I can do that. Amy Williams says, there is a narcissist recovery group. These men are claiming that with therapy, I know, girl, that with therapy and medication, they've accepted they are narcissists and are leading normal lives with their spouses as possible. Go to my channel, Amy, and search Dr. David Hawkins on my channel, because I have talked about that twice already, and I do not believe they change. And the second time I talked about it was because one of Dr. Hawkins' patients' wives reached out to me, and it was interesting. Watch it. Ms. Lily says, I ran into a friend. I don't know. Well, tell me more about that, Miss Lily. Nicole Brown says, Chewy, going through the same thing. It gets better with time. Absolutely. Diane Chester says, thank you, Magenta. I'm trying. It's been a nightmare. I do have a good psychologist to help me also. I have to record everything. I keep it all in text about the kids too. Smart, 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 smart. Susan Height says, hey, Susan, how you doing? She says, my narcissist is my ex-mother-in-law. 16 years and still going. She finally succeeded in getting my kids 2,000 of my monthly income, my family's, the school, law enforcement, courts, CPS, friends, community. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Susan. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Base Nation is in the house. Hey, Base Nation, how you doing? Omar Mejia says, also she has a 10-year-old daughter. Is there a good chance her daughter will have a similar personality to not only my toxic ex, but to her grandmother as well? My head says yes. So sad. It depends on what her personality is like right now. I mean, the fact is, if she's being abused by the mother, she may not be a narcissist, or she might be. It depends on how she turns around. If she's not being abused by the mother, then she may be like the mother. She might think the mother's awesome and perfect and everything's wonderful. Children have their own personalities generally, but I think that it's certainly a possibility. It's certain, and if she's not your child, maybe even more of a possibility. I don't know. Magenta says, Diane, smart girl. I totally agree. Dana Nicoletti says, why do narcissists change personalities so dramatically? My ex-husband is like a completely different person. It makes me feel like I never knew who he really was. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Nicole Brown says, Passion Planner. I need that. Hard to get off my desk lately. Yeah. Nicole, grab that. It's free. You don't have to do anything but download it. I need to get better with these whole selling things. I'm just not that good at selling things. I want to give you guys everything if I can. Jamie B says, I hear you, Dana, trying to find my niche in this big old world as well. I feel you, Jamie B. I do. Pro Gamer. Oh, see, we know that Malta's not here because Pro Gamer needs to be removed. And I don't know if I can. Do I have any chat admins here today? Because I can't seem to do it through my phone. All right, we'll just ignore that guy. Diane says, we hacked into my devices and was spying on me for almost 2 years. Oh, he hacked into my... Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. She never knew, and he altered text messages. Boy, girl, you got a big one there, a big mess. I'm so sorry. I agree with Miss D on that one. Jeff Parks, yeah. Ms. Lily says, I ran into an old friend. We went out on a date. I automatically started thinking, is he a narc? Seems like this has changed my whole thought process. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. That's what happens. And that's why we have to be careful. We have to learn to recognize the red flags, of course. But we also have to be really careful not to overly pressure ourselves, not to overly dwell on things, because it's so hard. We don't want to give anybody a chance. You know, we want to find. I remember when I was dating after I left my ex-husband, after our divorce, a year had gone by before I decided to date. I was dating, and I remember, like, I went through this phase where I was like, every single person I met, I found something I couldn't stand about them in the first date, and then I didn't date them again. And I think the reason was because I was, well, number one, I was really, really scared to bring the wrong person into my son's life, because I had a 16-month-old, well, by then he was a 2-year-old son at the time, who obviously was more important to me than any of those dudes were. Okay, my phone's going to die soon, so I may have to wrap up in a minute, but we're actually getting our timing. So I was really, really picky during that time, and I didn't want my child to have a bad, like, stepfather or whatever, and I also didn't want to be dating somebody that wasn't the right person for me for very long. So I kept dropping people very quickly, and I don't know, it was not a great phase in my life, but I was scared to death of falling in with a narcissist. So what I started to do, I sat down and I wrote down, all the things I was scared about and all that stuff. And then I sat down and I wrote down all the things I wanted in a person, and, how I wanted them to be. Now, I didn't write down, like, how I wanted them to look or anything like that, because that wasn't that important to me. What was important to me was who they were on the inside. And so I sat down and I wrote down all the qualities that I wanted in my next and hopefully final person. And then I released that to, like, the universe, or whatever you guys call it, God, whatever. And then I moved forward, and 2 weeks later, guess what? I met Bill, my husband. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting, but it did work for me. I had to drop a lot of my old things that I wanted. I used to look for a certain look of a person. I used to look for a certain, I don't know what, but I changed the way I looked at people by doing that exercise. So maybe that's something you could do, Miss Lily. Write down what you do want, not what you don't want. All right. How about No says, this is not the place. Yes, thank you, my friend. Christy Conroy says, Dana, they mirror people to adapt to what they think that person wants them to be. No one has ever known him, sadly. Yes, that's absolutely the truth, Christy. Very smart. Yeah, Magenta, I saw that too. Right. Nicole says, right, Angie, he can't hold it together with anybody. Yep. Kayla says, David H., that's a bit of a relief to know. Her love troubles is making me a bit tired. Yeah, absolutely. I know we need Jamie B. I wish I could turn you into a mod. Can I see? It's not letting me do anything here, but I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Next time I see you in chat, when I'm back on my computer. Yes. Base Nation says, my narcissistic ex made me cut myself so many times. She recently cheated on me and is now in a different relationship. I felt horrible at first. Will she regret it after a while? Well, she's only going to regret it if she decides that she wants your attention again, and I'm so sorry about that. Okay, first of all, stop cutting yourself. Stop cutting yourself. Stop cutting yourself. Okay, I'm about to have a confession right now, you guys. I don't know if you can see this, but can you see these scars on my arm? Can you see? This is a really ugly... Here we go. I don't know, anyway. I have scars all up and down this arm right here, because when I was 18, I went through some stuff. And I went through the cutting thing, and it was ugly and terrible, and it was stupid and wrong, and I shouldn't have done it. But I did it because I thought that I had so much emotion in my body that I didn't know what to do with, and I needed to release it. And in my stupid 18-year-old brain, not that it's stupid, but in my uninformed 18-year-old brain, I thought that it would somehow release. It was a metaphorical thing, maybe. I don't know. It was drama. I went through a thing. It was terrible. I got raped. It was bad stuff, you guys. I didn't have coping skills. So, but then the thing is that, like, I'm much older than 18 now. I still have these scars all up and down my arm. And I regret that. I want to tell you to stop cutting yourself. You might accidentally hurt yourself beyond the point that you can be talking about it some odd number of years later. Don't cut yourself. Can I say this one more time? Don't cut yourself. Okay. With that being said, the cheating sucks. She will not regret it. Unless she wants your attention again, and then she will pretend to regret it, and that is possible because at some point she's now in a new relationship. That guy's going to make her mad, or that guy's going to throw her, around or whatever, and she's going to have to look for a new supply, and then she's going to want you back in the meantime while she, to fill that need for a supply. Dana Nicoletti says that's true, Christy. Yeah. Jeff Parks says the mirroring is becoming so obvious now. I thought she cared about my taste, but now all I see is a tool to fool me. Yep. Happy Heaven says, that's horrible. Hey, Happy Heaven, welcome back. Be very careful with kids near him. I totally agree. Susan Height says, more attention to the reality. Narcs aren't just spouses and partners. They can be anyone. Absolutely. I want to just express that all the time. They could be your boss, your parents, your brother, your sister, your best friend, your neighbor, your your employee, your coworker. I mean, they are all over the place. There's definitely not just spouses and partners. I totally agree with that. Yeah. Ms. Lily says, yes, once you know what to look for, mirroring is easy to find. Absolutely. Shastina says, alcoholic narcs, when aging or decompressing, do they lose their brains because they talk like they have, because obvious stupidity, listening to their babble, and they think it makes sense? They do lose things in themselves. It depends on their... Alcoholic narcissists sometimes can be among the most honest ones if you can catch them when they're drunk. But narcissists, as they get older, especially those who depended on their looks, they change, and it's not usually ever a good thing, because now they don't have their looks anymore, or they become plastic and they get all the things done and they try to look, 25 forever, and that never works. But certainly they definitely, people tolerate their bullshit less, the less attractive they get. People outside of their relationships that are their primary relationships. So I don't know if I'm making any sense either. Christy Conroy says, I'm so sorry, Diane. Let me ask if you took legal action. Good question. David says to Kayla, you're in the right place. Do what you can to educate yourself about NPD and it will all fall into place. Totally agree. Yep. Nicole Brown says, mine was alcoholic and he started to catch up on his looks. Absolutely. Jeff Park says, Shastina, my wife is a drunk Xanax eating narcissist. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. There are 3 very different versions of her in one body. It is exhausting, and I totally understand exactly what you mean by that. Yes. Diane Chester says, I have a lawyer. I hired a computer forensic company. I've hired a PI. He was breaking into my home, stealing stuff. Oh my God, Diane, I'm so sorry. And later bringing it back. So he was literally trying to gaslight you into acting. Oh, I'm so sorry. Misty Trinkle says to Shastina, my husband is an alcoholic narcissist. I see him falling apart. It's sad, but I feel like I have to get my kids away from him. It's like watching someone implode. Yeah. You know what? I mean, save your kids. Save yourself, Misty. Save your kids. Save yourself. He can't be saved. You've done enough. You've tried. You've tried enough. Let your children see you stand up and say, I'm not going to take this. You know why? Because your children are going to grow up and be adults. And they're going to be in relationships with people. And sometimes those relationships are going to be effed up. And you want your children to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the right thing to do in a shitty relationship is get out. If you can't fix it, you should try. But if you can't fix it, you can't fix it. And you have to move forward or waste your life away. You know what I'm saying? Think about your kids. I think you're doing the right thing. Here goes the ring to my thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. Thank you for letting me be a part of yours. I will see you tomorrow morning and hopefully later today for that boundaries video. I told you I record it as long as I have time to edit it before we next call. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. See you soon.